I know it's quiet because I'm having troubles today.
Well,
let's
here we go.
yeah, it's quiet. Trying to figure out. So I tried to do this on X today, aka Twitter, and they make it really hard to use Streamlabs. I don't know if it's Twitter that makes it hard or if it's Streamlabs that makes it hard. But I can't, for some reason, I can't fix shit on here. So, I don't know. And this show is going to be short now because I've been fumbling with this for about an hour. It's hard to set up and it's hard to do anything with it. So, I can't see my chat on X. I can't see anything here. So we're just going to go with what we got. And I apologize for being so late. And we may not get the full show in today. Well, we definitely won't get the full show in. So anyway, let's just stop. I'll stop whining. And we're just going to do the show. Are you ready, Johnny? Play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
All right, let's stop that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel. Or if you're watching on X, you may have never seen this before. You may just be stumbling onto this. I don't know. Because for whatever reason, X just is a pain in my butt. And so if you're watching on X, I don't even know where to find the chat. I'm trying to figure it out. But you know, it is what it is. So anyway, hope you're having a wonderful morning. Let's just get right into it and say hi to everybody and go with what I can get to. First in chat over on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diabli gets the bell, who has been also very patient, waiting for this thing to show up. And that's it. Me and AD, because, well, it says there's 6 others, but I don't know. Anyway, on YouTube, first the chat, again, is also Avocados Diabli gets the bell for being first. That's for if you're first in the chat. Also, good morning, Ravon Harris, Zed the Snarky, Lord Stanhope, Attack Alpaca, Simon Wolfwood, my favorite Canadian Jaeger pony, JDSOB, good morning, Anonymity, T2, I'll be back, is here, Bookworm Addict, Aaron Meredith, and I'm sure people will finally make their way in. This is an annoying day. This is just going to be one of those shows where I'm just going to be annoyed. And it is FTG Thursday, so FTG to, I don't know, Streamlabs X, YouTube, I don't know. All I want to do is be able to put the thing in the thing and then start it, and it works. But every time you put one stream into Streamlabs, or you set it up in YouTube, you set it up in Rumble, but then X changes the title to the day before. And I can't figure out how to work that. And I also can't figure out where the hell, where this is in, on YouTube. Let's see. Oh, there. Let's try that link. Are there actually, oh, there you go. There's a chat link there. Okay, so I suppose you can watch it on YouTube or X too. Of course, nobody's there. I'm going to put a good morning over there. And we'll just see what happens. Because, oh, there is a chat here. Yes, there is, Devil's Advocate. So it's good to see you here. Anyway, so this is going to be kind of an experiment until I figure out how to do this in an efficient way. And there's no efficient way to do it. So, but welcome over on Twitter to Devil's Advocate. Which would be our friend AD, of course. Okay, this is nuts. Let's just get into what we're going to talk about today. First, thank you to the people who have tweeted out the show. That includes Somnambule Nation. And that's all. There we go. I got a lot of things trending that I got to talk about. Okay, well, let me figure out what the hell. That's there. That's there. What's this? That's there. So, yeah, this is just going to be one of those days where I'm just figuring this out. Okay, this is the one. That's the link to there. There we go. Okay. So, welcome to the show. Why did the chat die? Did I have it somewhere else? Oh my God. What is this is insane. This is just insane. What a pain in the ass this is. All right. Anyway, things happen in the world. I don't have a special day down, but it is a special day because apparently Madam Web came out last night. Now playing exclusively in theaters. And I don't even have, can I even show this now yet? Did I fix that? I did get that right. Fan-fucking-tastic. Madam Web has come out and apparently it's not doing well. Now, if you know what Madam Web before today was, that's also congratulations to you because I really didn't know. All I know is that it's a movie, a Spider-esque, like Spider-Man-esque movie, but with the women's. And apparently, when a review for Madam Web starts with, "Today I owe Morbius an apology," you know that this particular comic book film is not doing well. Apparently, it has very little audience going into theaters. In fact, here's a picture of the audience at one theater for Madam Web. And let's see. The way Dakota Johnson talks about the Madam Web role and asking Elizabeth Olsen for advice sounds like someone being diagnosed with a serious disease. Anyway, I don't know anything about this. Maybe we'll talk more about it when there are actually reviews for it. But it is trending today. Now, something else trending. Now, speaking of madams, Rachel Dolezal's trending. Now, you know who Rachel Dolezal is, right? Rachel Dolezal is hello Shrapnel, by the way. Rachel Dolezal is the young woman or old woman. I don't know what she is. The woman who was a officer in a chapter of the NAACP in somewhere out west, and someone found out that she was really a white woman. She's been pretending to be black for a long time. Well, now, I guess Rachel Dolezal got a teaching job somewhere. She first of all, she changed her name to Nechi Diallo. Like, she gave herself a West African name. She changed her name. Hello, Jimmy Das Hotep and Lord Simon Wolfwood. She changed her name to Nechi Diallo, right? And she got a teaching job. But now she is losing her teaching job because they found out she has an OnlyFans page. Holy shit. So here's 39 or 41 seconds of Tim Black talking about this. I haven't listened to this, but I'm sure this is just fantastic. I bet this is just some classic happening. So here's how Tim Black on the Tim Black Show described this situation.
Well, this is like saying, oh, black people gotta like fried chicken and watermelon, right? They gotta listen to rap music.
You may stand beside me, but when you say that
that's
is you, that is your life.
So that's Rachel Dolezal. You remember her, right? And
well, that's
I guess this is a compilation of things.
Total
this has a bunch of music. I don't want to do the music. Let's just go to the page. Just go to the trending topic. So here it is. Breaking news: Tucson teacher loses job over OnlyFans account. And that Tucson teacher just happens to be Rachel Dolezal. Meet Rachel Dolezal, former leader of the NAACP, who resigned in disgrace after pretending to be black. She changed her name and is now a teacher in Catalina Foothills School District in Arizona. Well, apparently no longer, because she has been fired because they found out about her OnlyFans account. So just going to leave. I'm just going to leave the trending topic in the links today, and we're going to leave it at that. Moving on. Let's see. Gang is trending. I don't know why. I think this might be. This is what I wanted to tell you about. Apparently, there was an organized gang of illegal migrants who've been committing thefts in homes in a very wealthy area of Detroit. Here's the report from WDIV in Detroit here.
Homes here in the gated community at the Country Club of Detroit in Grosse Pointe.
This is
Farms.
in Grosse Pointe. You ever heard of
burglary
Grosse
teams
Pointe?
Hitting here over the last weekend.
These are some
and
shacks,
if a home
baby.
backs up to trees or woods, it becomes a target. Thieves hiding there until they see their chance. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard first sounded the alarm in September after huge homes in Bloomfield Township were hit, then homes on private drives in Birmingham. The losses were in the millions.
In our area, they are.
So anyway, I'm not going to do a whole report, but apparently it's been gangs of these were Venezuelan gangs of just they're here legally. Some of them have been getting caught and getting deported, but somehow end up back here again. But they've been breaking into homes, taking safes, jewelry, precious metals. County Sheriff Michael Bouchard says the gangs are from South America and are bypassing high-tech security somehow. So that's fantastic. Let's import more. I mean, look, not all the migrants, the illegal, the border crossing, criminal border crossers are all thieves, but this is just another thing. We're importing some shit that maybe we shouldn't be importing. Okay, Ukraine is trending also. Probably because of the Senate bill to fund Ukraine that's being held up by the House. Now, someone here says, "Dear Western American and European brothers and sisters, please," this is somebody saying, "please stop sending money to Ukraine. The money and weapons from the West force these teenagers to be sent to slaughter by the Kyiv regime. Look at their faces. They are still kids." Okay. Well, not just kids. Also, people in their 40s and 50s are now being recruited. Tim.com, the military-industrial complex, has emptied their stockpiles of outdated arms and sent them to Ukraine. No other country would have bought that expired military hardware. U.S. taxpayers paid for junk that was destroyed by the Russian army within months. Ukraine never had a chance. I'm sure. Hello, and on 123, by the way, over on Rumble. And then Mark Warner, that's a senator from Virginia, saying, "I'm sick of hearing nonsense about Ukraine aid coming at the expense of investing in America. Countering Russia isn't just the right thing to do. It's also our best interest to weaken one of our greatest adversaries while sending a message to all authoritarian leaders." Wow! Now this is an interesting sentence, and because it's the right thing to do to what? Weaken one of our greatest adversaries. Is that our goal here? We're gonna allow Ukrainian men to be slaughtered so that we can weaken our greatest adversary. It's kind of like there's a name for that, isn't it? Isn't there a name for that? A proxy war? God, this is crazy. This is crazy. So anyway, and also Russia's trending. Now Russia's trending for a couple different reasons. One, because Tucker Carlson is in Russia. Now, this is weird. Tucker does this little thing. And look, I'm assuming that when Tucker goes to Russia and he does a report and they take him to some place, he goes to a store and he makes this big thing about the store, being extremely cheap to buy food there, whatever. I don't necessarily, and I'm not going to play it. You can play it on your own. But and people are watching this report. I'm always skeptical when people show how good it might be in someplace else. Now, granted, they maybe prices are lower to him, but Tucker Carlson has a right to be radicalized by the high standard of living and low cost in Russia because he knows the only reason it's not like that in the West anymore is because of conscious choices made by people who hate us. It's by design. Well, I don't know about that. Jonah Goldberg, this is amazingly stupid. I don't care what some flagship supermarket in an imperial city looks like. Russia's far, far poorer than our poorest state, Mississippi. Oh, and it's also a crappy dictatorship. So there's a bunch of people mad at Tucker, but also, let's see, there was another thing that I was going to show you. Well, Rand Paul here too. There's no justification for Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but enacting this bill will make peace less likely. Well, yeah, because it'll prolong the war. And it's not like Ukraine, they're not winning, but they're losing a lot of people, and we're in this little proxy war. Marty, we did it back in the 80s. Yeah, we did. I'm sure. But anyway, so the United States Senate is also trending, and mainly because people are talking about the House holding up the Senate bill. Now here it is, breaking. I can't stand Charlie Kirk anymore. I mean, I tolerated him for a long time, but I can't. But anyway, he happened to write this. Speaker Johnson holds the line, shuts down the Senate foreign funding bill. Quote, the Republican-led House will not be jammed or forced into passing a foreign aid bill that was opposed by most Senate Republicans. And again, here, dead on arrival, Speaker Mike Johnson kills Senate foreign aid bill, says it does nothing to secure our own borders, says on Valentine's Day it's time for Washington to start showing some love to the American people. And I won't play the clip because I just don't have time. And people in the Senate are mad, of course. And, you know, all the lefty pundits are mad because, you know, for whatever reason, they want this proxy war on Russia. So anyway, so now apparently Zelensky is going to turn to Europe for aid, and apparently Trump passed the funding package too. So a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, that's why that they're not doing it, because Trump is their leader. Well, you know, oh crap. Let me hang on a second here. I apologize I'm having lots of little glitches today. Let's see if we can fix this. Okay, there we go. So now Zelensky's turning to Europe for aid as Trump bashes UN funding package. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is planning a tour of Western European countries to push for aid against Russia. Well, good, because I've been saying, as I said yesterday, maybe the EU should do a $95 billion, dollar, obviously in whatever currencies they use, aid package for Ukraine. It's much more urgent for the Europeans than us. We have a whole ocean between us and Russia. Granted, there's the intercontinental ballistic missiles, but yeah, go ahead. Do what you got to do there, Mr. Zelensky. His trip coincides with Munich Security Conference in Germany, but the leader will also visit Paris and Berlin. Bloomberg News reported the details of Zelensky's trip have yet to be fully finalized. His attention toward Western Europe comes as former President Trump has thrown his weight against sending further military aid to Ukraine. Yeah, maybe, but is this Fox, who probably would love to see continued Ukraine funding, is this Fox taking a jab at Trump for this? It's like he's the only one who is against this. Trump called on Republicans to block a $95 billion package that would provide aid to Ukraine and Israel, with Kyiv getting the lion's share. Trump's move goes back to his longstanding distaste for NATO. Well, no. Not his distaste for his wanting NATO to live up to the rest of NATO to live up to their obligations on the security agreement. And it's funny because everyone keeps taking that, what he said the other day about, when he was negotiating with NATO and saying, look, you need to up your, you need to come closer to your goals for funding military. We can't do it all for you. We can't do we're going to do the majority already under the agreement, but you got to step up and do 2% of your GDP too, and because you can't, we can't do it all anyway. So I don't know if it's his distaste for NATO, but it's distaste for how NATO works, how NATO puts the burden on us. NATO probably, and also kind of, you're like, well, wait a minute. I thought the Soviet Union broke up back in when, and a lot of those countries are on our side now. What's the point of NATO? Who are we using NATO for? Just Russia? Because they don't have satellite countries anymore like they used to. And so now that makes you go, well, what's the point of NATO? But I understand, I get it. I mean, it's funny because there was a point at one time people were mulling at the idea of Russia joining NATO. And I was like, wait, what? That really doesn't make the point. Anyway, U.S. is slowly going back to isolationism, and the world will really get wild when that fully happens. I'm not interested in isolationism, but I also think we can't be the only ones. We can't be the only ones. It's got to be, if it's going to be a joint venture, it's going to be a joint venture fully and not just us paying for everything. Because, we've got our own little debt problems in the United States that we're just spending money like it's crazy. And so anyway, it goes his distaste for NATO and his belief that many of the group's members are not paying their fair share for security. This weekend, he suggested that he would allow Russia to invade countries that weren't paying their full security dues. No, he did not. He was talking about when he was negotiating back when he was president. And he didn't suggest that, but everyone has decided to interpret it that way. So you can tell that the uniparty is going full bore here. NATO was busted until I came along, Trump said Saturday. I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, and this is, again, he's quoting when he was talking to them, and it wasn't an exact quote because that's not how he said it, but I said, everybody's going to pay. They said, well, if we don't pay, are you still going to protect us? They said, absolutely not. They couldn't believe the answer. Notice he's talking in past tense. He's not talking in present tense or future tense. He's talking in past tense, and then they agreed to up their, commitment to whatever. So the former president said, okay, I don't need to care. This is all about Trump. Let's do the Newsmax here. Newsmax, Rick Scott says McConnell's not representing Republicans on this deal. Rick Scott, who failed to unseat Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, is still focused on becoming a conference chief. In an interview with Politico, Scott, 71, reiterated his concerns about the 81-year-old leader, but stopped short of announcing a challenge. I haven't changed, Scott told the outlet, possible second position. I believe we need to have different leadership. I'm going to win my re-election first. Scott, an ally of former President Trump, said he wants to return to the Commerce Committee after losing his seat on the panel last year, for which he blamed McConnell, calling it retaliation for Scott running against him. Of course it was, because McConnell, still has the juice, even if he can't really remember where he left it. I think I left it in the kitchen. Anyway, so I don't know. So Rick Scott, there's some, Paradise is not working so well for everybody. So NATO's trending, and of course for the same reason. I don't need to go into this, but a couple people are tweeting here because apparently there's some supposedly crisis that was coming up, and I'll talk about that in a second. But whatever, John Bolton was talking about if the United States withdraws from NATO, it would mean the end of our credibility around the world. Let me know what you think. Should the U.S. remain in NATO? Is anyone actually talking about us? Well, some people are talking about us leaving NATO, but anyone seriously talking about us leaving NATO? That's just weird. That's just weird. It's not. Hello, Selecta Boy. Yeah, boy. But Jimmy Dore's like, whatever John Bolton says, we should obviously do the opposite. Yes, let's pull out of NATO and close 800 of the U.S. military bases spread around the world. Well, we can't do that, Jimmy. Come on, let's not go crazy here. But we can't ask the other NATO countries to step up in their obligations. You know what I mean? All right, let's see here. But lots of people are talking about NATO too. Oh, vote vets. the left-wing veterans group. Putin's puppet is back, and the GOP's blind loyalty is directly threatening NATO's integrity and the safety of America. No, NATO's integrity has been suspect. And while Trump was there, he got the other NATO countries to agree to step it up a little bit. And again, Trump eyes NATO makeover, hurried peace if Ukraine if elected. He's saying that if he is elected, they will get the peace talks in swing and get the peace going instead of, killing off a majority of the Ukrainian male human beings. Donald Trump is considering a scaled back commitments to some NATO members and a push for Ukraine to negotiate an end to the war with Russia if he returns to power next year, according to people familiar with the matter. Oh, those pesky people with the familiar with the matter. They're always so accurate. Among possible moves in a second term, Trump allies has discussed essentially a two-tiered NATO alliance where Article 5, which requires common defense on any member under attack, would apply only to nations that hit defense spending goals, according to the people who... Okay, again, they took what he said with his negotiating tactics from the past when he was talking about the past, not the present or the future, and they've turned it into, well, here's what he's going to do. This is what he's going to do. No, this is what he already did. That's how he got NATO, the countries to agree to step up. That's so funny. Trump advisors have also discussed getting Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin around a negotiating table early in a potential second term, according to the people. The initiatives, if pursued, would upend decades of U.S. policy. Again, this is Bloomberg. They don't like Trump at Bloomberg. Would end decades of U.S. policy, fracturing a defense alliance that shaped European security since the Cold War. Oh, since the Cold War? When was that? I thought the Cold War was over. And worrying allies in Asia about Washington's commitment to counter China? Really? You're worried about Trump's commitment to countering China?
China is asshole.
Really? Is that okay? I guess. Interesting. So basically, I see where this is going. There, it's a Bloomberg article. Again, if you listen to that speech that he gave, you clearly hear he's not talking about the future. He's talking about how he negotiated with them in the past and got them to commit to getting closer to their security goals, as far as production of their own security. It wasn't. He didn't say, "Well, if they don't pay, we're going to let Russia attack them." That wasn't what it was. And so many people lying about that. It's amazing. It's not amazing. You still do the very fine people fucking thing, or they're rapists. Even though he was, when he said it, it's spelled THEIR, as in that's who they're sending. Anyway, it's stupid. Also trending, Kansas City. Now, let's move on, because the Kansas City Chiefs parade, if you haven't heard, they're calling it a mass shooting because these two jackasses injured 12 people, apparently mostly children. Okay, wait a minute. Let me back that up. They say children. When I think children, I think like kids under 10 years old. Now, were they minors? Yes. But it seems like when I look at what's happening in Kansas City, the suspects that were caught were pretty young too, which makes me wonder, was this some hood shit happening? Okay. So anyway, now, under the topic of the Kansas City Chiefs parade, though, Kimberly Klacik, who is running for Congress, I think, out of Baltimore or in Maryland, she says Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas of Kansas City was on the defund the police train. I hope a journalist asked him how social workers were able to assist the victims during the shooting. That's a fair question. If that was part of your thing, Kansas City leaders proposed to defund police. The proposed defund police measure amid skyrocketing crime. So that was back in 2021. This guy, I haven't listened to it, but I like what he wrote here. He's saying Kansas City shooting suspects arrested. Were they Red Hat MAGA No, who could it be? BLM, Black Lives Matter, demanded Kansas City recognize Black lives. So it couldn't be those poor mistreated people, could it? You know, Kansas City. Let's see what he says here.
Well, hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? It's me. I'm back, making folk mad. Had a shooting in Kansas City at the Kansas City celebration of the football game. It looked like it was white MAGA supporters.
Yeah, no, they weren't. They were caught and arrested. In fact, they were caught by people in the crowd and chased them down. Oh.
You know I'm lying. It was a bunch of Negroes. Yeah, it was a bunch of niggas, yeah. Shooting at gang stuff. So all that black...
Now, it's interesting because I haven't heard the gang stuff yet. I speculated that before, but a lot of people are upset. Yesterday, after the Kansas City parade shooting, CNN literally described this guy. What? They described him as a, quote, dark white MAGA supporter. I didn't even see this yet. Do you think CNN should be sued for spreading misinformation? They described him as a dark white MAGA supporter? What? Let's see. Active courage. The man who tackled the shooter at the Kansas City's Chief Parade speaks out. Says, I didn't hesitate. I just did it. This is one of the guys who helped
One
capture
guy
them.
was hollering and saying, stop him, or catch him, tackle him, whatever. And he's just bailing running. And out of nowhere, I heard that guy hollering, so I'm just like, okay, well, I'm right here. And I didn't think about it. It just a reaction. I didn't hesitate.
Hey,
just
they might want to sign him up.
So I went to go tackle him, and another gentleman did the same thing. And as I'm tackling him, I see his weapon either fall out of his hand or out of his sleeve because he was wearing a long jacket or like a Carhartt. So when I seen that hit the ground, I'm like, oh, we got to take this guy down. And so, like I said, I did, and another good Samaritan did, and we held him down.
Good for this
And
guy.
it
This
seemed
guy's a
like
hero.
Forever, but it probably wasn't. It was like 30 seconds holding him down, and me and the other gentleman are hollering at ongoers, where's the cops? Get the cops over here. Get the cops over here. We got him.
Wow. So that's good for that guy. I didn't have his name here, but a lot of people, obviously, this is people are making gun control arguments about this. Now, this was not AR-15. This was not a red MAGA hat wearing NRA member with an AR-15. These seemed to be Utes with guns. Sahil Omar's has been a suspect in other attacks. Do not release this dude. This is one of the guys. Let's see here. Y'all did some digging last night on Sahil Omar's. Y'all, this dude has been in custody for multiple other things. Why was he even released? On February 14th, Kansas City Chiefs Parade rally celebration, leaving 1 dead and 22 others injured. January 8th, 2024, at least 21 people were injured in an explosion on January 8th at the Salmon Hotel in Fort Worth, Texas, in relation to an apparent gas leak. Same wording, 44-year-old migrant Sahil Omar has been used on social media in relation to other news events, including the November 2023 Rainbow Bridge crash on the U.S.-Canada border. Oh, so this Sahil Omar was the leader of 3 of these teenagers, all Muslim and supporting Hamas. I don't know about that. That is speculative. I don't know if that's correct or not. But so lots of different things are trending because of this Union Station. And here's one of the Krasensteins, Daily Krasenstein. This video captures a moment when gunfire erupts during a Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl celebration parade. Several individuals were shot. 2 armed people have been in custody after the shooting near Union Station. It's horrific when the celebration turns to tragedy. Once again, we need to address this gun violence problem in America. No, it's people violence. What are they going to do? Okay, so these 2 guys with handguns, not AR-15s. So what would you have banned in this case? And we don't know if the people had the guns legally or not. And, I don't know. Apparently, Missouri has some loose gun laws, I guess, but I don't know if any of the laws that any other states would have stopped this. We don't know. if the shooters at Union Station were white, there would be no Russian national security threat. We'll get to that Russian national security threat. Some of the scenes around Union Station today after the Chiefs parade rally, at around 47 seconds could be gunfire, but I'm not sure what the sound is. Well, let's see what they're playing here. This is before. What's interesting is none of these people are running, but the police are running. So is this after the shootings? Are these people in the foreground just oblivious to it? I don't know. But now, as they said at 47, coming up here, they might have heard gunshots. Okay, I don't know if that's that or not. Anyway, we'll move on. So other things trending because of it are Missouri, and a lot of people are complaining about Missouri's gun laws, saying, I just ran away from a mass shooting at the Chiefs parade where I saw Missouri Governor, the gun lover below, running scared for his life next to me with an army of officers protecting him. Look, if there's gunfire at an event like this and your governor or the president or anybody important with security around him, it's the security's job to shuffle them away. You can't, look, that's just, doesn't matter where you're from. That's how it's going to be. That they're trying to make commentary on, well, he's such a gun lover. Why did he run away when there's gunfire? Well, because he's forced to. And again, this is back in June of 2021. Missouri's HB 85 House, I don't know what this is. House Bill 85 puts those in Washington, D.C. on notice that here in our state we support responsible, law-abiding gun owners, and we oppose government overreach and any unlawful efforts to limit our access to firearms. Second Amendment. He's a Second Amendment governor, and so people are criticizing him because some idiots shot some people. Probably had some who knows if it's hood shit. I'm speculating. And then let's see, criminals is trending. Oh, this is this is what I wanted to show though. This is from a few days ago where apparently Travis Kelce, Kels or whatever you say his name, is on a apparently big on gun laws. He lent his name to the Brady United Against Violence campaign. There needs to be more strict gun laws, especially when toddlers are dying. We can't have that in our communities. So he's lent his name to a gun, gun regulation campaign. Let's see. Ownership of real assault rifles, military and automatic weapons should be mandatory for every healthy. This is a whole different one. Someone here's this is Kurt Schlichter. Ownership of real assault rifles, military, automatic weapons should be mandatory for every healthy adult citizen. This will allow them to do their duty protecting their society from criminals and tyrants. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to tell you why you suck. Look, isn't it Switzerland where every household is required to have guns in the household? And they don't have these problems. Criminals don't obey laws, so let's take guns away from the good guys. Dumbest argument ever, coming from the guy who showed every little loop football player in prime time it's okay to push your coach when they don't let you play. Ooh, damn. That's terrible. And then guns are trending. I'm going to skip over the rest of these. Shooters are trending too. We'll get more details as the details come out, as the media, look, it won't be as fast because it wasn't a white MAGA guy with an AR-15. So it may take a couple more days to get more information on the shooter, the actual information on the shooters. For example, the stuff that I showed you earlier, that's somebody on the internet speculating. I don't find that necessarily credible. It's an interesting idea, but I don't find it credible. Thank you, GunFox61. Sponsor the show. GunFox, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. A story for tomorrow. Breaking news: Iran claims what? All right, we'll start with that one tomorrow. Thank you, GunFox. I appreciate it. Dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. Woohoo! Here, let's put it on the screen there. There we go. All right. Gosh, sorry, 10:34. I was so late today. All right, now let's get to a couple things that I wanted to talk about. And this is interesting. If you are following the trials, the trials of Donald Trump, it's sad to have to say that word in plural, but it is. Oh, by the way, the Fannie Willis disqualification hearing is happening right now. If you want something to do after this show, you can watch that. Robert Gouveia has it. Good Logic has it. Looks like RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network, has it. So several people are streaming that on YouTube and Rumble and other places, and on X. So if you want to watch that. But this is one of those things. One of the trials, Jack Smith wanted to expedite the Supreme Court decision in the in one of these indictments because he wants to have Trump convicted before the election, and the Supreme Court probably going to take their time. But this is something Julie Kelly, a short thread that Julie Kelly put on X. Was it last night? I think it was this morning, early this morning. And this makes sense. So she says, to demonstrate how preposterous it is for Jack Smith to first demand a 6-month indictment to trial timetable for Donald Trump, and now push the Supreme Court to deny Trump's stay application for appellate court decision so the Washington trial proceeding can restart in hopes of achieving conviction before Election Day. Let's look at the case of January 6th defendant, who will be on trial in Judge Chutkan's courtroom on March 4th instead of Trump. Linwood Nestor was arrested in May of 2022 on the 4 most common J6 misdemeanors. And here's the DOJ's recap of the trial schedule. On May 11, 2022, the defendant was charged by complaint with 4 misdemeanor counts for his participation in the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol. The defendant was then arrested on May 11, 2022, Doc 6, and charged with the same 4 misdemeanors by information. In April 2023, this honorable court set the matter for trial to begin on October 16, 2023, which was subsequently updated to begin on October 2023. Okay, so then, nearly 1 year after Nestor's arrest, a year on misdemeanors, not vague charges in historical prosecution of a former president, the DOJ set this pretrial calendar in April 2023. You will note that the time elapsed 4/23 to 10/23 is the amount of time Smith initially demanded from the Trump indictment to trial. 6 months. Chutkan ordered a still unprecedented 7-month trial schedule. Any J6 defense attorney or truthful line prosecutor will tell you this is the normal course of events. And then she has a little list here: trial, pretrial conference, suppression motions, pretrial motions, federal evidentiary notice, and motions in limine. So how did Nestor's trial get kicked to March 4th from October 17th? Remember, he was arrested back in, April? Was it April she said here? Yeah, April 2023. Or no, March 2023. Excuse me, May 2022. May 2022. And now his trial is going to be in March of 2024. Well, it appears that Nestor's attorney, recognizing Chutkin's hands would be full with the Trump trial, which included an important hearing the day before Nestor's trial was set to begin, offered to change his plea from not guilty to nolo contendere. Anyway, no contest on all 4 misdemeanors. That means the defendant would accept punishment but not admit guilt, basically. The DOJ objected. Read more DOJ nonsense below. And Chutkin denied his plea offer. The concern for building public trust in the rule of law and the criminal justice system is paramount in the context of January 6 cases. The riot at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, and subsequent prosecutions are surrounded by false narratives and misinformation. Which, oh, really? Oh boy, that's an understatement. Which obscure the basic facts of this attack on the democratic process and the rule of law. But with each guilty plea and public trial, the government has worked painstakingly to make the public record clear about the facts about January 6th and the responsibility of those who participate. Again, this is for 4 misdemeanors. So the plea of no contendere, on the other hand, would allow the defendant and other rioters who attacked the Capitol. Again, he's saying attack the Capitol. This guy has 4 misdemeanor charges, no violence. Who attacked the Capitol to continue to propagate the false narrative that they did nothing wrong. Really? So they didn't let this go. So, and this might be the best part, with Trump's D.C. proceedings on hold in December 2023, pending appeal of her immunity order, Chutkin then allows a remarkable 10-month delay between Nestor's first trial date and the rescheduled trial date. Again, misdemeanor. Fair and speedy trial. Thank you again, Gun Fox. I see you dropped another one in here for tomorrow. And I will definitely have that one ready. And you still are the Streamline Superstar sponsor of the day. Chutkin wants to make sure her docket is clear for the Trump case. She knows appellate SCOTUS proceedings will push Trump's trial months beyond the original March 4th trial date, so she's not taking any chances. A few days later, she officially vacated Trump's March 4th trial date. Chutkin reset Nestor's trial for that day. What is even more blatant is that Matthew Graves attempted to blame defense attorney's schedule for the extended delay. All of a sudden, he was free after Chutkin vacated Trump's trial date. So then, and then this is just one example of how fluid these cases are everywhere, just highlighting the J6 case in D.C. to demonstrate the highly unusual nature of Smith's request related to Trump's trial. So the trial for this January 6th defendant on 4 misdemeanor charges is from when he was arrested in March of 2022, or excuse me, May of 2022. Is not getting his trial till almost 2 years later, but Jack Smith wants to rush through Trump's trial, which is a very what's a good word for it? Suspect use of the laws that he's using in that case. So, so you want to rush Trump's trial through, but then you got this other case of a guy who he wanted to plead no contest to some misdemeanors, and that trial is going on almost out 2 years. So it just kind of shows the ridiculous of Jack Smith's wanting to rush this. It's clearly for political purposes, okay? Now, let's go to this national security threat real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. So, apparently yesterday, there was a House memo, or the House Intelligence Committee posted this from the chairman, Representative Mike Turner. Today, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, which is always suspect when you're talking about the United States government, has made available to all members of Congress information concerning a serious national security threat. The White House said they had a serious national security threat. I am requesting that President Biden declassify all information relating to this threat so that Congress, the administration, and our allies can openly discuss the actions necessary to respond to this threat. Because, the House doesn't want to move forward this little bill from the Ukraine funding bill, right? And so they said, oh my gosh, we have a national security threat, but we're not going to tell you what it is because we don't want anyone to know, but it's definitely a national security threat, right? So, and look, someone here says, Washington is really an amazing place. Suddenly, as Speaker Johnson says he will not take up the bill to send over $95 billion to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan, officials began to warn that there's a new national security threat. It's leaked in the media without any details in the form of a scary, vague statement that leaves more questions than answers. The National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, comes to the White House for a briefing. He gets the question on the mysterious national security threat, but refuses to provide details publicly, heightening the anticipation. After the briefing, Pentagon tells the media that it has to do with space, but can't discuss any further, heightening the suspense. Eventually, they tell the New York Times that Russia is developing a new nuclear weapon with international capabilities, but it's still in the development stage and has not been deployed yet. Still very dangerous. Then they leave that hanging. Other newspapers repeat it. There is a new threat, and there is a Republican House blocking the money to fight Russia via intermediaries in Ukraine while they are about to complete the development of a new nuclear weapon. So they got something in development, and that is the national security threat. That is, well, they can't talk about it because it's a national security threat, but not something that they have. So anyway, breaking. Oh, this is, oh God, I'm not going to, anything Mary Trump puts on there, I'm not doing. So here it is. Watching this closely, House Intelligence Committee Chair Mike Turner has made intelligence around a serious national security threat available to all members of Congress to review. Two sources and the U.S. official tells CNN the threat is related to Russia. Well, wait a minute. Multiple sources familiar with the intelligence characterize the intelligence as very sensitive. So he gave it to the House to the review, and that's bad? Earlier Wednesday, Turner sent his congressional colleagues a letter saying the urgent matter is with regard to a destabilizing foreign military capability. Again, this is the one that turned out to be Russia has a weapon in development. Speaker Johnson appears to be urging some calm. We are going to work together to address this matter as we do all sensitive matters that are classified, but we just want to assure everyone steady hands are at the wheel. We're working on it, and there's no need for alarm. Someone here says, very obviously, more Russian election interference. They do it every single year, so not surprising. No, that's not it. That's not it. And Aaron Monte says, wow, crazy timing. Just as the House Speaker is stalling a bipartisan neocon bill to funnel another $61 billion into the Ukrainian proxy war. If he doesn't obey, he'll be accused even more of failing to confront the serious national security threat from Russia. So anyway, that's what that's all about. All right, I got to go, but I do have some articles in here that I'll do a few headlines here. We knew about this already, but there was the bombshell report that reveals that Mayorkas personally rejected RFK's Secret Service protection. Like his name's on the letter that denied the Secret Service protection for RFK. Which, some people say, oh, that's not unusual. Well, they've given Secret Service protection to people early before. They gave Barack Obama Secret Service protection 2 years in advance of the election because he was going to run. Other articles, MIT leaders assembled a faculty advisory group on campus anti-Semitism, and then they ignored it. Oh, shocker. Jewish faculty members disbanded the group after school freezes them out of standing together against hate event. They wouldn't let Jewish faculty go to the stand together against hate event, or wouldn't let them speak. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, Democrats captured majority in this Pennsylvania State House after a special election. They had a special election in Pennsylvania, I guess, to it only took one member to upset the delegate balance power, and so the Democrat won, and so now Democrats are in charge of the Pennsylvania State House. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit tomorrow, Gunfox. Oh wait, you're not in Pennsylvania anymore. The committee did the MIT one. In the Daily Caller, China is rapidly outpacing the U.S. in shipbuilding capabilities in a bid for maritime dominance. That is a concern. China's shipmaking and its Western allies. The Wall Street Journal reported Tuesday China currently represents over half of the world's shipbuilding output for both commercial and military vessels, according to the journal. Meanwhile, the U.S. represents just a small fraction of the globe's total shipbuilding output. Now, here's the thing on the military ones, though. And I'm sure somebody here would be able to tell me this. Isn't our current Navy dwarf everybody else? I think it does. I mean, yeah, maybe for shipbuilding capability, but we have by far the largest Navy. I mean, we surpassed the Brits a long time ago, didn't we? So is that a concern? Well, yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe we don't need to build as many ships as fast, and maybe we just have to build them better, which is also probably the case as that goes. So anyway. But somebody here says in the national interest why the U.S. Navy is running out of Tomahawk cruise missiles. Oh, they're running out of Tomahawk cruise missiles too? I wonder if it's because they keep selling them to Ukraine. And also, maybe somebody else here knows this too. Is the Tomahawk missile currently the most advanced missile that we use, or are they producing something else? But anyway, the White House should be worried about the U.S. military's shrinkflation problem. Year after year, inadequate budgets that don't keep up with inflation cause the Pentagon civilians to propose retiring more aircraft that are being delivered to the force, sending more ships to the Ghost Fleet that are being built, and now firing off more precision weapons that can be replaced anytime soon. Okay, that doesn't sound good. Now, this is from an outlet called The National Interest. That's interesting. And how many Tomahawks are we using? Recent operations repeatedly deplete years worth of missile production overnight. Since initial strikes began in January, Navy ships have repeatedly employed both carrier-launched aircraft and sea-launched Tomahawk cruise missiles to strike Houthi radar, drone, and anti-ship missiles. Well, whoever makes the Tomahawk missiles is probably glad about that because they can go into production and maybe we'll buy some more from them. So anyway, that's in the links. In New Hampshire, a male track athlete has topped the high school girls' state record in high jumping. Jackass is transgender, in other words, a biological male who competes as a girl, and a New Hampshire male track athlete favored to win the girls' state championship this weekend. Not surprisingly, being a male, Jacques did not just win the high jump competition for girls. He completely destroyed the girls' record by jumping 5'1" at 5 foot. Jesus. He jumped 5 feet 1 inch. I think my best jump in high school at high jumping was 6'4". Yeah, because I could jump my own height in high school. 5 1 inch. Interesting. And that's 1 inch higher than any girl. If this is a boys' competition where he belongs biologically, considering the significant physical ability differences between males and females by any age, his performance would have been poor. The lowest boys' jump was 5'8", and the highest was 6 feet. Oh, no, 6 feet was my highest jump in high school. I did it at college intramural meets at 6'4". So anyway, there's another one. Icons is talking about that. Icons is a Twitter account that and organization that tracks these kind of things. James O'Keefe did they infiltrated an organization at the border that is helping illegal border crossers get access to the country, and they infiltrated that. That's in the links today. Also, in the Hill, Democrats unveil a new hip-hop task force to tackle racial inequity. Yes, the hip-hop task force on the House of Representatives, a coalition of Democrats, are looking to use the power of music to tackle some of the most pressing issues facing Black and brown Americans. In my personal opinion, and this is just me and I don't speak for Black people, I think maybe some of the hip hop that is going on and the images and shit that the producers and shit come out with, I think that might be one of the most pressing issues facing Black Americans, because prioritize some shit that I don't think needs prioritizing. So, of course, Representative Fireman B. Jamal Bowman on Wednesday unveiled the Congressional Hip Hop Power and Justice Task Force. Oh, you can read it on your own. It's stupid. Now, Thomas Massey has been laying the smackdown on Elizabeth Warren, and not the good kind of smackdown. So Elizabeth Warren has been blaming TurboTax for our complicated tax code. And she's been on a tear about, corporations are the root of all evil, right? So she, and this is, Jeff Charles wrote this article. Sometimes lawmakers make statements that are absolutely ridiculous that you have to wonder how they ever got elected. Enter Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat from Massachusetts, also known as Pocahontas, who took to social media to take tax preparation companies to task for lobbying to keep America's tax code as complicated as possible to create a need for their services. Now, it's funny because she says the tax preparation software companies, right? What about all the fucking accountants? I'm sure they like the tax code being complicated because it keeps them in business. But she said, every time you see a TurboTax ad, remember, they've spent millions of dollars lobbying to make the tax filing process as difficult and time-consuming as possible, all to protect their bottom line. But now the IRS is testing out a truly free direct file option. Hey, dipshit, who writes the tax laws that make them complicated? And that's exactly what Thomas Massey said. He said, give me a break. Don't pretend you're a firefighter when in fact you're the arsonist. Our convoluted tax code was created by senators and representatives like you who want to do social engineering in the tax code. Oh my God, that man is, give that man a Klondike bar. Anyway, you can read about that. Jeff did a great job with that article. Here's a guy who dates trans women, but he still calls himself straight. I don't have time to play it, but he's dating a trans woman, but says he's straight. Does he understand that gay means homosexual, not genderal or whatever? Gay means you are two males who have sex together. And you are a male having sex with a male human, regardless if that person identifies and maybe looks like what most people would think of as a woman. But you know what? If you're if you're having sword fights instead of playing Fill the Donut, then you're probably gay. Okay? And here's the other part. He really, it's only a minute 15 seconds if you want to watch it, but he really, really emphasized that he's not gay. Maybe, are you saying there's something wrong with being gay? I mean, look, it's not my cup of tea. But if you're gay, just be gay. And don't stop. Please stop with this nonsense, okay? You're gay, and it's okay to be gay, and shut the fuck up. So anyway, that's it. I was going to play that at the end of the show, but I'm just not going to now. You can watch it, though, because it'll be in the links that I put in the chat at the end of the show, which is right now. So thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live, and sorry for the terrible start, but we finished okay. I'll be back here tomorrow at the normal time, hopefully, and that normal time is around 10 o'clock Eastern. So thank you. Thanks, Gun Fox, for being the superstar sponsor of the day, and all of you who are participating in the chat. And if you're watching on if you happen to be watching on Twitter, well, you're probably not, but no viewers. Okay, that's good. I have to start figuring out how to make that work next time. But anyway, that's it. I got to go. Thank you. Links will be in the chat in a second. My name's P-Dog Knight, and just let me the hell out of here. I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.